What's up, guys? Hey, how we doing? Today's video, I'm really disgusted with what Feld has done to a freestyle legend, a Metal Militia OG. This is one of the original members of the Metal Militia, Colin Scummy Morrison. And if you really listen, I didn't know all about what his team was, why he did it, and all the benefits. But after I had a long talk with Colin, man, I'm so thoroughly disgusted that they kicked him out of there and they chose to make an example out of him. The greed and potential antitrust practices that Feld and MX Sports are taking part in is absolutely disgusting. And I have some words for the people who will not stand up to them that could actually make change. Thank you to everybody getting me your address for the Nano Xtreme. So what you do is go over to my email, chriscookseymedia@gmail.com. Just put Nano in the subject and then put your name and address. And actually, if you can, put your email at the bottom so I don't have to recopy and paste it. And we will get you out the Nano sample. But I mean, I'm getting through them as fast as I can. It's a lot, guys. So those of you that got them in early probably already got your samples. Please let us know what you think of the cream. Head over to the Nano website. Make sure you give them a review. And then when you need to refill it, head over to Nano Xtreme. Use code Cooksey for free shipping. Next Monday, Coach Rob drops his Jeremy Martin interview, and it's going to be good. Coach told me a little bit about what Jeremy shared. It is a good show. So head over to the Coach Rob podcast. He's got the amateurs, the vets, and there's a direct link at the bottom if you want to head over there. So head over to the Coach Rob podcast and watch for the Jeremy Martin interview dropping on Monday.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So I was beyond disgusted to see the Instagram post when Colin Morrison came out and said that his team was banned. I was like, what? But here, let me share his post with you. Check this out, and then I'll expand after that.
Back with the microphone too, feeling official. But we are not back how I want to be. It's a very sad couple days, let me tell you that. So much stress, so much work, so much everything, putting this team together, raising money from sponsors, getting the team together, helping out the privateers. We got shut down. We're not at Anaheim. We should be at Anaheim right now and then getting ready for Arizona. But yeah, we got clipped. Back in the past, I'm a recovering addict, and I used to blame everybody for all my issues in life. Everybody, actually. What I've learned in my recovery now is that I got to be accountable, and everything, how we got clipped from Supercross is entirely on me. I got to go down with the ship. Anyways, we weren't following Supercross's guidelines. I got a phone call from the main people at Feld saying we are not allowed to show up at Anaheim. We're not allowed to show up at Arizona or the other rounds, because we weren't following the rules. I've been doing this for 8 years. I mean, we've had punk rock bands. They were so bummed out about Caleb playing, throwing out product to the fans, F3 Energy because it's Monster Supercross, passing out food from Green Mountain Grills. We just weren't following the rules. I knew that, and we were pushing it every time. But like I said, the privateer pits suck for the most part. You know what I mean? And I feel like they should be paying us. Like, we always had the best pits, given we were there for the fans. And, I did not follow the rules and we got shut down. So this is entirely on me. I'm so sorry, everybody, that we're going to see you at Anaheim. We won't be there. I cannot thank you enough to my team, all the sponsors, the riders. We're still trying to help out Nagy and Greco. But I just want to do this to give back to the privateers, give back to the fans. And, yeah, we got shut down. So yeah, I've been numb for the past few days because it's sad at the end of the day. It really is. So anyways, thank you to all the sponsors and thank you to all the fans that always would show up for the past 8 years, always coming by, having so much fun. And thank you, Supercross. I know we'd always push the envelope, and I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, from the bottom of my heart. We will be back hopefully soon. And, love you guys. Over and out.
For those of you that don't know Colin Scummy Morrison, he is a freestyle original. Up until the backflip, Colin Morrison was everywhere. He was part of the Metal Militia. Him and Bo Manley even did a movie called Bro. Like, he's crossed over into a lot of mainstream stuff. I mean, at one point, he was probably bigger than most Supercross racers as far as fame-wise could even imagine. He knows so many mainstream celebrities and connections, and he's had a wild time. And I didn't know his whole story about getting sober and overcoming a lot of the same things that a lot of motocross racers deal with. He was heavy into drugs. There's plenty of other shows, and I might even get Colin on here to talk about it, but it's amazing that he's still alive. And what's even better is he's sharing his journey, because there's a lot of our generation that was part of the opiates and the way they pushed them on everybody throughout the early 2000s and into the 2000s. It took a lot of lives. And with us motocrossers, we all get injured. So these doctors were just pushing this stuff on us, and they made a lot of addicts out of us. And now Colin Morrison's doing something really cool in promoting sobriety and really bringing awareness to a lot of the people. He got to do it in the public eye, but he's sharing his story and helping a lot of people. And that's why he's doing his Supercross team. Seriously. So that's the message of the Supercross team, and he got kicked out. So this guy chose to use his connections, his sponsors, instead of doing something just for himself. He did this to help privateers. He sees these guys who really need help to go racing, and it was this is a passion project for him. He's not making any money with this race team. He just got to help out guys that really need help. His main job, he sells like fire extinguishers and fire stuff, that, a business with his family. That's how he makes a living. This isn't how he makes a living. This is something he does to give back to the sport that he loves so much, like the rest of us. And he's a great promoter so they sell the pits at Supercross as, come enjoy the pit party. What they meant was, come enjoy our paid vendors, not the riders who just are very, very interesting. So they park him way in the back. They've not liked the things that he's done. He brought in a kid that plays a ukulele. They told him he can't have that. Listen, this is a kid that Race Day Live featured on the show. He can't play in the pits because apparently people were tipping him. True story. That is one of the things on the list that they banned Colin Morrison for. The other two things were, they said F3 Energy. He was giving out energy drinks. I kind of understand that one. You can't give out energy drinks when Monster has paid $30 million to sponsor the series or whatever they have. I was told Monster spent $30 million to sponsor the entire SMX series. So yeah, I probably wouldn't want other energy drinks passed out in the pits either. But there's other teams that have energy drink sponsors. Red Bull, Rockstar. You're trying to tell me none of those teams have handed out a drink? But they aren't targets because those teams paid a significant amount of money prior to the season. True story. KTM, Honda, they all pay a significant sponsor money. That's why they get the tough blocks and stuff. So not only are they paying for the team, paying for the riders, paying the riders' salaries, and everything else that goes involved with Supercross, now they're paying the series to even be there. This is like the ultimate scam. And at some point, these manufacturers have got to be like, wait, hold on. We pay these guys to be at their race to offer them free labor for their circus. Now, this business model made sense 20, 30 years ago when it was really hard and they were trying to have a platform to make this sport grow so these guys could show off their motorcycles and sell machines. At this point, motorcycle sales are down, but the entertainment value of this sport is up. They just signed a gigantic gambling deal. None of it goes back to the teams or riders. They're about to sign, and this is according to my numbers, market value for the ratings that Supercross is getting behind a paywall this year should produce $200 million per year to the series next year. Yes. And with Indy cars leaving NBC, if they get anything less than $200 million, they're morons. That's what it's worth, and that's what they're going to get. How much of that goes to the riders? Squat. Nothing. How much goes to the teams? Squat. Nothing. They're still actually paying money to be there. Every other professional sport, and that's what they want to call this. If you want to call this a sport, that's what it is. You have to have revenue sharing with your athletes. They're the product. You can put as many fireworks and tough blocks out there as you want. If I don't get to watch the riders race, it's nothing. It is nothing. But they have been whipped into submission from day one by the establishment, exactly like what they're doing to Colin Morrison. And while I just told you how awesome Colin Morrison's program is and how great it is that he's at the sport and giving back, I stand by all that. It is awesome. He's a good dude. He's got a good mission. He's sharing a good message. He did push the rules just a little bit. So before the season started, he's a team owner. He wanted more access to the pits. He needed more full access credentials so he could go in and out of the pits. They gave him 4. He's got emails going back and forth where he's arguing. He's not asking for free. He wants to buy pit passes so he can have access to go to his truck to see his riders. And hey, he's a metal militia guy. He pushes the rules. So he couldn't get into the pits in San Diego. He had a fake credential because he wanted to get to his truck. He's a team owner and he's just trying to get to his truck. He bought his ticket to go to the race. It's not like he snuck into the race. He was just trying to get to his own truck. So while I know you can't make a fake credential, come on, sell the guy one. If you didn't sell him one, what's he supposed to do? You put him in a real bad spot. And you know who he is. I mean, we're dirt bikers. We all push the rules. We all do that kind of stuff. But he went the right way first and tried to purchase the pass. And what I really think the issue is I think Feld was embarrassed that Colin Morrison, on his own, was able to bring in bigger celebrities and put on a bigger production than what Feld can do for the paid sponsors. It looked better, it was more interactive, it was a better marketing job, and it made them look bad. And I don't think they like that. And one thing with this whole mafia sports deal they got with MX Sports and Feld is you have to go along to get along, or you will be made an example of. And every once in a while, they grab somebody, like they did me, and they say, oh, you don't want to play along? Boom, blacklisted, you're out. And they just throw the kitchen sink at you, every little thing they can. They just made Colin Morrison an example. If you want to challenge us, you want to make a fake pass to get in the pits, we told you no, you said no, how dare you challenge us? They banished the team. People who were paying to be at the races to promote for a pit party that they sell admission to. Now, he's not getting any of that admission to be in there. He's actually paying to be in the pits, providing a service for anyone who went in the pits to be a part of that party that they're selling tickets to. Yet they still didn't like the way he did it. So their tyrannical rules and the way they do things, they made an example out of him. They were trying to send a message to everybody. Don't you dare challenge us or you will end up just like these guys. And that's what they do. And that's why everybody is so scared to speak out. Because you never know when you're going to be made example of. And I'm not an antitrust lawyer, but I have to think this has to violate some sort of antitrust laws as far as allowing these guys to promote the products. They're not being paid by this series. The prize money for this series is a joke. They pay $250 to enter. They should at least be allowed to promote the products that sponsor them to get them to the event. Those of you that race, you know how much money it costs to go racing. It's a lot of money. A stock bike, you're talking around 10 grand. These guys are not riding stock bikes. The spare parts, the race gas. I mean, the list goes on and on. Some of the teams I talked to said, like MCR told me, to run a round, every round of Supercross they run, $20,000. So you're trying to tell me the $1,200 night show counts against their $20,000 expenses? And that's why, they're employees? I don't think so. That is garbage. That is garbage, and I cannot believe the teams and manufacturers just put up with it. So let me add too, as they don't pay the riders Colin was helping out, Josh Greco, Alex Nagy, these guys are good dudes. These guys are top level riders that can make the night show regularly, and both have been in main events before. So they're no slouches, but they are living on less money than people make, pretty much any job. Pick a job. They make more than what these guys are making after expenses. And he was just trying to help them out, have some fun, enjoy the sport that he's so fond of, and give back and share the message about sobriety. Yet, Feld chose to target him. That's disgusting. Check out Ride Strapped. So we're looking at the dates for the Cooksy Cookout in Daytona. Looks like we're going to go Sunday. Friday, it's just not enough time on Friday. It didn't work out. So it's looking more like Sunday after the Daytona Supercross if you guys want to come. But like I say, we'll have a sign-up sheet here pretty soon, and I'll have details, and we're going to have about 20 slots available for you guys. Head over to ridestrap.com, check out their shirts, goggles, and glasses. Precision Transport, the best shipping company out there. These guys are awesome. Family-owned, and they will take care of your products. So hit up pretransport.com and let them handle your shipping needs, and finally get a shipping company with customer service. check out Motobilia. So I had breakfast with Rick Doherty from Motobilia today, and I got to learn more about that website. And so what it is you can actually sell your memorabilia on there. I kind of had it wrong when it was all authenticated. They do their best to make sure things are authenticated. But like say, if I have a classic bike, I can go on there and list it. And it gets to a specific amount of people who are looking for that. It is a little bit different than I thought, and they have all sorts of memorabilia. Just a cool site. So check out motobilia.com. Something else that just really bothers me about Feld and MX Sports. So like I said, the business plan where they needed money to make sure they had races, to make sure the promoter was actually not losing money, so the factories had a place to race. Those days are way gone. They're in the past. These promoters are now raking in the dough. It's time for these people at the brands, KTM, Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha. They need to demand a piece of this. They're never going to give it to you. You got to have Mitch Payton, Roger DeCoster. We need guys like James Stewart, Ricky Carmichael, Ryan Villapoto. And I know these cowards will never stand behind anything because they're spineless and they're all worried about, oh, what about my little thing? And they're so tied up in being part of the system that they're letting this thing just be exploited when these guys are the ones that could really get it together and make this sport bigger and better for everyone. Not just the privateers, not just for everyone, for the brands, for the fans, everyone. If this thing were not run by a couple tyrannical promoters, it would be easier to make the proper changes. Safety-wise, it would just change it. Look at every single sport that's ever added profit sharing. Every single one of them grows. Profit sharing grows the business. Now, I'm not asking for guaranteed money that's not there. If fans don't buy tickets and they can't sell the streaming package, well, profit sharing doesn't give you anything. But right now, these guys are making so much money. And in addition to that, what really pisses me off, they're attacking the heart of the sport because they don't get it. They're circus promoters. They do not understand the love we have for this sport, and they're going after somebody like Colin Morrison and his team, bringing awareness to sobriety and helping the many, many opiate users that they created with Big Pharma in the 2000s. Man, good on Colin Morrison. I commend you for doing that, and I'm sorry they shut you down. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and it pisses me off. Every single one of you guys in this sport at a high position, like I said, I just named a few, Roger DeCoster. Also, you riders, stop just acting like you've got to just take a look and say, listen, okay, maybe we should get together. We at least need a piece of the streaming package. With the streaming package, maybe it goes towards a retirement. Maybe it goes toward better health coverage for you guys. There's got to be something you can't just keep giving this circus free labor because they'll take it and they're exploiting it. And like I said, there's got to be some antitrust laws broken in there somewhere. I'm not a lawyer, but the way they kicked out Colin Morrison and his team, I can't think that doesn't violate something. Anyway, thank you, members. I appreciate everything. Go follow Colin Morrison on Instagram. I'm going to have him on my show coming up here pretty soon. He's just a fun dude to talk to, and he's got some really good stories. I would love to share with you guys his redemption story and some of the things that he's been through. It's crazy, man. I can't even explain. I'm glad he's still here because it could have gone either